Hello, good evening. This is Ian, Fantastic Dimensions. This is a Stalker game set in Zone Japan, and it is appropriately titled Stalker Zone Japan. I've got five players here with me. Everybody showed up. Everybody has some kind of at least basic knowledge of the genre or of the fiction behind it. So I'm going to go from my right to left and let each of you introduce yourselves. If you have a channel or a blog or anything you want to plug, you can do so, and then tell us a little bit about your character or introduce them in a scene, a brief scene if you wish. Let's start with you, Micah.
All right, my name's Micah. My character's name is Sharps. He's around his late 20s, short blonde hair, blue eyes, extremely white. He's going to stick out like a sore thumb in Japan. He's a former paramedic who became addicted to some of the painkillers that he routinely worked with. He lost his job because of that, and then got into Zone Canada, became a stalker, spent some time in Zone Canada, and to fund his addiction. This is his first time in Japan. He isn't fluent in Japanese. He kind of walks into, I guess, like the nightclub or wherever we're meeting the Yakuza with kind of a far away look in his eyes, like he's kind of lost. He doesn't know where he's going.
It's a comfort girl club. Do you know what that is?
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's just basically a fancy kind of bar the Yakuza guys go out and hang out in, and they have all these women who are paid to hang all over them and make them feel big and tough.
All right.
And maybe other things, but that'll cost extra. Okay, Philip, I'm going to let you go next.
Hi, my name is Philip. My name is Philip Posey. Oh God, and I have something in my throat. Anyway, I run the channel Maps and Dragons, and this game is brought to you by BrigadeCon. Please, everyone, go ahead and donate to Child's Play. And during the course of this game, I will match every dollar up to $1 that you donate. And yeah, I'm playing a character tonight. His name is Sarachu, which is slash in Japanese. He's a Japanese man, early 30s, long black hair, wearing fatigues. Unusual fact about him is that he has striking blue eyes. Maybe a little bit too much of the element water about this man. You see him sitting in the room. The fan above him whizzes by. The camera angle turns and pans down, and he's laid on his bed. His beard is growing out. It's kind of shaggy, not a full beard. Beside him is a bottle of whiskey that he's drank most of. Over on the counter, you see some incense burning, and behind it, a picture of his father that he's left in the zone. He picks up the bottle and throws it against the wall, walks over to the window, and sees a playground where some kids swinging. Shh, shh, shh. He thinks about his father swinging on the rope and him trying to turn around before his father's lost and taken away into another time. Shh, shh, shh. Brrrr, brrrr. There's a ring on his phone. He walks over to it. It's Kitano. Meet me at the Comfort Girl Club. He walks over, grabs a toothbrush. His toothpaste looks like it's been taken on the counter and ran down, so it's all in one clump, and he puts way too much on it and starts to brush his teeth, make a shave, and kind of looks in the mirror. Huge gray bags under his eyes. Oh, Kitano. Son of a bitch. And that's it. He's going to make his way down to the Comfort Club.
Excellent. Jeff, you're up next.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff, and I'm not here plugging any website or anything like that, just here to play the game. I'm very pleased to be with you all. My character's name is Confucius. He actually comes to us from China. He is a doctor, mid-40s, thin, wiry frame, heavy chain smoker. And he actually came over to Zone Japan in order to make enough money to try to win back a lot of his money, which is now frozen up in Chinese assets due to the fiscal crisis which just happened over in August. He sold stocks when he shouldn't have, lost all of his status, and now he needs to win that back by trying to bribe as many people as he can. So he's underneath a street lamp. He's outside the Comfort Girl Club, smoking his cigarette right down to the butt. Lets it fall from his mouth, and he sees Sharts walk in. Looks at him, sees his just pale white skin, shakes his head in disgust. Can't believe that people like that are even around here, let alone might want to go inside and might have to work with them. He likes another cigarette. Shart. Schwartz.
S-H-A-R-P-S.
Gotcha.
Like a needle, pretty much.
Lights a cigarette again, and he takes a renminbi out of his pocket. Looks around and thinks of all the money that he's going to have to make in order to pay off all the people who he has to pay off in order to get his fortune back. Money is power. Power is status. He wants his status back, and he won't be welcome back in China until he gets that status back. He finishes his cigarette, drops to the ground again, and shuffles into the Comfort Girl Club, looking around to see who might help him find his lost fortune.
Excellent. Okay, Ernesto, you're up.
I'm Ernesto. I'm playing a fellow named Sergey. Sergey is actually from the United States, and he left there under duress. He was part of a crew of guys, and something went wrong, and he had to get out of Dodge. So he is now in Japan, which he is not happy about, and basically he's in exile. He's a grizzled 40-something-ish guy. He's kind of generally nervous, and he looks like he hasn't slept in a few days. And doesn't much like Japan, doesn't much like the Japanese, doesn't much like the food, doesn't much like anybody, but strangely he's very hesitant to be alone either, so that's it.
As to say, beggars can't be choosers. Andrew.
Hey guys, Andrew Knapp here, SR2 Joker on YouTube. I am playing Saito. In a small apartment room, you see a man kneeling down on his knees in meditation, his white socks sticking out on his feet behind him. As the camera slowly pans in, you see on a small table in front of him there's a bonsai tree. One of the small black ropes that was holding the tree into place and stunning its growth has snapped. Saito looks at it with very, very intense eyes, and he thinks to himself, the ropes that hold that tree are like the Force, like my superiors, like society. It wants to stunt me. But, unlike normal trees, Saito is vigilant. Saito is like bonsai. Bonsai finds a way outside of the ropes, and Saito will find a way outside of the ropes. End of intro. Hoo-yah!
Okay. Excellent. So, you've all been summoned to the club to meet with Kitano. You've arrived, and Kitano is sitting at one of those big, like half-circle kind of sofa-type booths. And he has 4 girls there, 2 on each side of him. And as he sees the first of you walking in, he leans over to the girl on his right, gives her a kiss, and he says something under his breath, and she and the rest of the girls get up and walk away. He gestures for you to have a seat. I think the first one to arrive was Sharps, as I recall.
Sharps kind of just stands there and stares at him for a moment like something's not computing correctly, and after a couple seconds too long, he finally gets the message and sits down.
Mm-hmm.
A rather distant, kind of dreamlike look on his face, slightly.
And then Confucius comes in next.
Confucius walks in, and he sees Sharps, and he also sees Kitano. He takes a seat opposite Sharps, almost right next to Kitano. Looks around and sees who else is going to come in. Is there going to be any more other Westerners like this Sharps guy?
Sharps is completely oblivious to the insult. He's kind of in his own world, kind of looking around dreamily across the bar.
Can you guys see the image there okay? There's Kitano.
Yeah, it's coming up good.
Okay, cool. Do you sit down then, Confucius, or?
Yes, I sit down, but opposite Sharps.
Okay. Probably the next to arrive would be Sarashu.
Sarashu approaches the table, gets about a foot away, balls up his hands into fists right by his sides, bows sharply, and says, Katano-san, and sits down.
He nods. Then we'll go with Sergey.
Sergey will walk in, look around. He recognizes Kitano. He will nod at him, bow his little bow, and he'll sit in the booth next to Sharps if there's room.
Kitano kind of smirks at your, at your attempt to follow proper etiquette. And then Vigilance, you're going to walk in last.
Vigilant walks in. He's about 6 foot tall, incredibly stiff, and he's got that slightly pursed upper lip that says arrogant, and he holds his head back in a slight tilt. He always looks down at people. So as he walks up to Kitano, not wanting to appear like he's going against his employer, he gives a bow, but his eyes never leave Kitano as he's trying to stare right through him.
Yeah, Kitano's eyes don't leave you either. He looks at you. He knows about your past. A few years ago, you guys would have been probably trying to kill each other on sight. But then he kind of smiles, because he knows you work for him now. He says, in Japanese, he says, "We have foreigners amongst us, so I hope you don't mind. I will speak in English." Then he starts to speak in English. He says, "I'm very glad the 5 of you could make it. I tried for more, but apparently the offer wasn't good enough, or perhaps they were waylaid. Either way, I told you I had a job for you, a high-paying job. Maybe not quite retirement level, but it'll definitely get you well on your way. I need you to go into the eastern portion of the zone. I need you to find a stalker, one of my stalkers who is lost. His name is Kuroneko. He went in with a team of stalkers to retrieve something for me. They found it. However, they were betrayed by their handler. The Dawnbreak got most of his team. He managed to only lose his legs, but he was unable to leave the zone. He called for extraction shortly before we lost all communication with him. I want you to go in to these coordinates," and he shows you like a little GPS device, "and find him. Bring him back if you can, but even if you can't, bring back his cargo. The cargo is more important than the man if you have to make the choice."
Sharp's, this entire time, Sharp's brow has been kind of scrunched up in confusion, but as soon as he says that the cargo is more important than the man, Sharp's kind of like smiles and nods.
He says, "This cargo is worth a lot of money to us. It's worth a lot of lives as well. If you come back with the cargo, I will pay $1 million to each of you who comes out. As I said, he sees your reaction, Sarashu, as your eyes light up momentarily at the talk of $1 million. As I said, not quite enough to retire, but it'll get you well on your way. They never paid you that kind of money at the old office. Did they, Vigilant?
He slowly shakes his head back and forth. They did not pay me anything.
Do you have any questions?
Confucius looks up. There's a katana and asks him, so this is very, very important what you want us to bring. May I ask, what is it, and how will we transport it out of the zone?
It bears the appearance of a high-tech briefcase with a suction device attached to it, almost like a vacuum cleaner hose. Ideally, you'll carry it. It shouldn't be too heavy. Anyone else?
We'll bring the device back or not come back at all.
I know.
Kitano-san, if these men die, it is still split 6, 5, what?
I'm going to give 1 million to each one of you who comes back alive.
What if only one man comes?
Then that man gets $1 million, and I save 4.
Not 5 million?
Do you have a problem? I do not like the common tone that you take with Miss Rashu. However, since you are kindred, I'll allow this slight to pass once. From now on, you will refer to me as Kitano-sama. You understand?
Kitano-sama, may I speak?
Yes.
And I will turn to our rambunctious friend, and I'll say, I do not like the idea of rewarding a single man coming back. I've seen enough stalkers betray each other with that added incentive.
That is exactly why the price stays
My face blushes.
I try to look down upon you so bad the back of my neck cracks as my head reaches towards the sky.
Kitano seems to just kind of smirk a bit as he sees your discomfort.
Why are you trying to make me feel ashamed?
You feel shame because you should. And my head leans even further back.
I'm staring up your nostrils.
You're a fan of game shows?
Like a little bit of air puffs out of my nose, giving you a little gust of a bowl.
Any more questions? He looks over at... sorry, I'm still memorizing names. Looks over at Sergey.
No.
What about the Institute? Will they be a problem?
They could be. I wouldn't worry so much about them. If I were you, or if I were me, which I am, I would be more concerned with rival clans and the Keiretsu. They're much more dangerous than the Institute out here.
There's a question. Are we the first team you've sent?
No. If you
For
were
this?
paying attention, you would understand that the man you're going to retrieve is the only
No.
survivor from the first team we sent.
I understand that. Have you sent another team already to try to retrieve it from him?
No.
After him? No.
And I certainly hope I won't have to send another team after you to retrieve you either.
Kitano-samba, what is the name of the man who betrayed them, their handler?
The woman,
A woman.
her name is Mako.
Trickets.
Is Mako,
Mako.
until we find her. My people are hunting her now.
What does
Her
she look
death
like?
will be slow. He
Chiming
says
in.
she's short.
You don't think she has the briefcase?
No, she couldn't have the briefcase this soon. However, I fear there may be other teams on their way to try and intercept the device. So you may come up against opposition. It's not going to be an easy job. That's part of the reason why the pay is so high. There are
Other
also
teams
other
who do you
benefits.
suspect?
Yes, I believe other teams may have been dispatched by rival clans or the Keiretsu, perhaps even the Institute, to try to retrieve this artifact.
How many ways in and out are there to this location? Why wouldn't we just let them go in, find the briefcase, and then we snatch it while they're coming out? Seems safer for us.
It's never safer to allow your enemies to get their hands on this cargo.
Until they put it in your hand.
Once again, taking the opportunity to like boast his own ego, he says to Kitano, "Maybe he lacks the courage to do what is necessary."
Maybe you lack the mind to do what is wise.
Mind is discipline. And he just stands there trying to act stoic.
You're probably both half correct. And in less urgent circumstances, I might have you both killed for inferring it. However, the fact of the matter is that this artifact is so powerful, so valuable, that I would not wish to see it in the hands of any enemy. Not even for a moment. You will have to leave with extreme haste. However, I am providing you armored transportation to the zone with a small escort as well. I will grant you all zone suits, which, if any of you guys would all know, being stalkers, zone suits are very expensive. They were designed by the Institute. They run around 20 grand a piece. Think of them as your down payment. And you will have a handler on your job as well, watching over satellite imagery to warn you of impending dawn or dusk breaks. Given the treacherous nature of the last handler, your handler will be a special trusted agent in this case.
I will say immediately after that, then he will be man.
He will be me. I will be your handler. After all, if you want something done right. Then, once you retrieve the artifact and get close to the border again, I will send an extraction team to collect you. Not many organizations will give you a better offer.
What's the device that we use to contact you with?
Each of your zone suits will be equipped with communications device, radio devices. You will be able to communicate with each other and with me using it. The communication device is completely detachable, so if for any reason you have to abandon the suit, you can still take the communication device with you. However, if at all possible, I would prefer that you don't abandon the suits. They are very expensive. Very useful as well. Just so you guys know, A zone suit is a special environmental suit from the Institute, fully airtight, bulletproof against pistol caliber, fireproof, radiation-proof, insulated against electricity, acid-proof, comes with its own breathing apparatus, recycling air filters, and so on. Has an electrical torch mounted on one shoulder that can also be used as a signal lamp. It's very lightweight, and colors are bright, making it easy to find. Okay. And these are fitted with these special communication devices, which again, like I said, are fully detachable. And you'll also have a heads-up display, which you will be able to use to locate one another should conditions become difficult, as long as you stay within half a kilometer.
That's very generous. Thank you, sir.
Confucius pipes in again and says, "Please excuse me, Katano-san, for being so bold, but should we find any additional artifacts on our trip in there, will we be rewarded for those as well?"
If you find any additional artifacts or items within and manage to bring them out, the rewards will be as normal for such instruments. We certainly have plenty of people who can help you defense any other goods. And anything you find beyond the case is yours to do with as you please. I only want the case.
When do we leave?
Oh, I'd like to have the suits back too, if possible. You'll be leaving in 30 minutes. He picks up his phone, taps out a quick text message. His phone beeps again, like 30 seconds later he looks at it and he says, "Sorry, 26 minutes. Traffic is light tonight." Any special requests? Then please, make yourselves at home. Have a drink, maybe some sushi. Enjoy one of the girls before you go. It might be your last opportunity. He claps his hands, and the 4 comfort girls come back over, and he waves a finger, and he points at you guys. And the girl who he kissed earlier goes over and gets another girl, brings her over from another table. He smiles and picks up his glass of champagne.
Does this place have a proper bar?
Oh yeah, it does. If you think about the decor in this place, it's all kind of white and almost like a soft purple, almost pink kind of color. A lot of like really kind of frilly design, and it's very lush, very rich looking.
No particular theme.
No.
Sarashu asked one of the girls to bring over some sushi and sake. Hot.
She does.
Sureshu, may I speak to you for a moment?
He is almost about to drink his sake. He sets it down on the table. Hi.
I'll walk over with my chest puffed out a bit, and in classic style, like Iceman from Top Gun, I'll say, "So have you figured it out yet?"
Hi.
I'm going to be the one bettering your instruction on this mission. And I leer over you like a military taskmaster.
I take a drink. I set it down without looking at you. And you see, like, his blue eyes are just like little slits of anger, like little fires burning inside the pupils.
And putting my hands behind my back and holding them like I'm paroling an area as an instructor, I say, as walking around the back of the chair. You know, if you make out of this alive, might make a good man out of you yet.
Why you think about me in the future?
And my hand will rest on the other side of the chair, and I'll say, just as long as we have an understanding.
What was it, Andrew?
Like my hand rests on the back of the chair, and I say, just as long as we have an understanding.
Oh, of course. I understand.
And inside of Sarashi's mind, he just sees a mule.
Okay. So you guys enjoy the next 20 minutes or so, whatever you want. If you want to have food, drink, girls, they make you as comfortable as they can for the next 20 odd minutes before Kitano stands up and says, "Gentlemen, your ride is outside. Good luck. Don't disappoint me."
Sarashu takes a bottle of sake with him.
No problem.
Sergei finishes his drink and he follows him out.
Sharps finishes their glass of water. They don't drink before a job. And they follow everyone else out.
Confucius
you
lights
kept-
a cigarette with his cigarette. And then keeps smoking as he walks outside.
Excellent. As you're walking out, God damn, I keep forgetting the name. Sorry, Sharps. You do catch Kitano's glance. He has an approving glance for some reason at you. You carried yourself with respect and dignity, and he seems to appreciate that.
Sharps kind of responds to that by kind of giving him almost like this kind of deer in headlights look. He doesn't seem like he's entirely there or entirely sure what that look means. But they continue walking out.
And Vigilant, you're the last one to go.
Yeah, I just walk out after everyone else leaves, making sure I'm the last one there.
Okay. You guys walk out, and yeah, it's nighttime. And I'm going to do another screen share here. You guys are picked up in that vehicle there. Big black truck, heavily armored. There are 3 Yakuza, 1 driver, 1 passenger, and another who comes out of the back and opens the door for you all to get in. There are multiple packs inside the truck. You assume these have your suits within them. There are a couple of extras as well. Not sure what they're for. Big, huge, black, like almost military-sized duffels. And then they tear off. And you drive for a considerable while. It's a good long drive to get around to the eastern side, but they want to get you as close to the point as possible. So it's a long, bumpy ride. They're driving way too fast. They definitely seem to be in an extreme hurry. The Yakuza who's sitting in the back with you just smokes and says nothing. Even though it's pitch black outside, he's wearing sunglasses.
Of course he is.
He has a very stoic, unemotional look on his face. You guys are driving for a while. And then, how many of you speak Japanese?
Sharps only speaks English.
Sergei only
it's not
has a
a
very
water.
basic understanding of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Saito speaks Japanese.
Okay. And what about Confucius?
Confucius is fluent.
Confucius is fluent Japanese? Okay, grand. So they're talking a bit fast, and so I would say Sergey doesn't quite grasp what they're saying, and of course Sharps doesn't understand it at all. But all of a sudden the driver lets out an exclamation in Japanese, and the rest of you who do speak fluent Japanese hear him say, "Shit! They're here!" And you hear the passenger beside him say, "There's nothing else for it. Hit the gas. You'll have to ram them." And as the truck accelerates rapidly, you're all kind of tossed back a bit, unless you happen to be wearing your seatbelts or anything else.
Sarashu notices a worried look on Vigilant's face.
It's actually my eyebrows are way up, and you can see the whites all the way around my pupils like a crazy man's.
The Yakuza who's sitting in the back with you speaks for the first time in the long ride. Says, "Grab your packs. Get ready to jump out of the truck." And he reaches down and picks up the 2 spare packs himself, hoists them up. Anybody looks out the front of the car or anything? You hear a sound like massive concussive thumping. Thump, 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 thump. And then you feel the truck shake a bit as it's being struck by shells, which are coming from this vehicle up ahead of you. Oops, sorry. If I can press buttons correctly. It's been a long day. One of these things. The driver seems to be going full kamikaze and just accelerates straight towards it as the passenger door opens up and the passenger rolls out, and the other Yakuza in the back with you guys kicks open the double doors inside and says, "Now, out!"
I grab my pack and leap out like a ninja.
Confucius rolls out in order to avoid any damage to his hands and his arms.
Okay.
I will grab my sack, and when I jump out, I'll try to roll to absorb some of the motion of the blow.
Mm-hmm.
So Sharps pulls a smoke grenade out of their jacket pocket and then jumps out.
Okay, cool. And Sergey?
Sergey grabbed a pack and jumped out, trying to stay on his feet.
Trying to stay on his feet. Okay. It goes hardest on... Actually, do you have any ninja-like skills, Philip, for Sarashu?
Yeah, he's trained in martial arts.
Trained in martial arts? Okay, what about Sergey? Has he got any kind of martial art training or any special abilities that would allow him to leap out of a truck moving at close to 100 miles an hour or something almost?
Oh, it's going that fast.
Yeah, well, they've pounded on the gas and they were already driving fast.
No, I guess Sergey falls on his ass.
Okay, Sergey takes a hard thump. Ooh, get the wind knocked out of you. You don't break your legs or anything, but you're a little stunned. Because of the speed, Sarashu, you do manage to. You still have to do a bit of a roll, but you manage to come back up on your feet. As the truck just continues to go forward, and you can see the 2 Yakuza guys who also have taken a bit of a tough roll and tumble, and are struggling to get up as the truck continues to barrel towards this APC, which is just firing round and round after round after round into it. You can see the guy on top in the flesh from the muzzle barrel, or from the muzzle flash. And the truck, basically, the front end of it erupts into flame. There's a bit of an engine explosion just moments before it crashes into the APC, impaling itself upon this armored vehicle and encasing the carrier itself in flames. As you guys are, well, some of you are already standing, others are getting up, and one of you is trying to catch his breath. The 2 Yakuza also are standing up and pulling something out of the 2 black duffel bags that the one guy grabbed. and you see that they're taking out assault rifles. And
Yeah.
one of them... Yep, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, as they pull them out of their bags, I also pull my shotgun out of my bag.
Okay. Anybody else
The
got
second-
any weapons?
The second Sharps hits the ground, they roll, and they pull the ring on the smoke grenade and give it a short toss.
Is there any cover to run to?
No. This is a big open kind of area outside of the wall.
There's a kind of
More of a fence than a wall.
white smoke begins to obscure the area,
Then-
where we all dived out.
Then I move behind the men with the guns.
Yep, and you're now being obscured by smoke from Sharp's smoke grenade. One of the Yakuza says, "The artifact is all that matters. Get in there and get it. We'll hold them off." And they start walking forward, even walking out of the smoke, and firing these fully automatic assault rifles in the direction of the armored carrier.
Well, I take off like a tiger towards prey, and I make my way towards the zone.
Sharp hangs behind just in case someone's wounded. If Sergey is still having trouble getting on his feet, Sharps will run over and help him up.
Thank you. Grab the bag and start lurching after him, but I can't run fast.
I follow up behind Sergey, trying to keep myself as covered as possible, running into the zone.
I'm gonna walk slower behind them, not running, looking for anomalies.
Okay. Well, you're not into the zone yet, but that's fine. You're getting into the mode, into the zone. No pun intended.
I'm going slow. Like, I'm not, it's a walk, it's a little bit of a fast walk, but it's not jogging.
I understand. And the two Yakuza keep walking towards the armored carrier, firing into it with their assault rifles. One of them is changing his magazine now. The vehicle itself has opened up, and two guys come out of it, also with assault rifles. And as they kind of try to clear the smoke coming from the burning wreckage that's wrapped around the vehicle, they start to walk in the direction and return fire to the two Yakuza. So, Sarashu, you're going to be the first one to reach the fence.
Now, does this fence have barbed wire over top of it?
Oh yeah, it's more like razor wire.
I see. Well, he's going to take out his suit, put it on as fast as possible, and then take the bag that the suit was on, throw it over the top of the barbed wire, scale the fence, and make it over. Or at least try to.
Okay.
How many people are behind me? Like, looking around.
You look back. Well, you can see the four of them.
4 of them?
Mm-hmm.
I just see one walking casually.
Yeah,
with all this smoke and gunfire.
At the back, yeah.
Like, cool guys don't look at explosions.
Kinda, yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. He starts climbing the fence like a monkey.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
So looking into the zone, is there anything that's emanating from there?
Well, the zone itself is like this crazy wall or pillar of different light and shadow effects.
Going straight up into heaven.
Oh yeah, it's 100 kilometers high.
How many kilometers wide?
72.
That's small.
It's the smallest zone, yeah. And you can see beyond the fence, though. You can see ahead of you like a kind of a town, or the remains of a town that hasn't been inhabited since the zone, since the visitation.
If I make it over the fence, I'm going to look immediately for shelter in order to wait for the group to rendezvous and to plan our course of action.
Because you stopped to put on your suit, I'll say you're just climbing the fence by the time that Sharps gets there, yeah, and Confucius, and then Sergei is behind them, and then Vigilant behind.
Sharps isn't taking. They're more concerned about getting shot than any anomalies at this point. So the second they reach the fence, they're throwing their bag over the fence and then climbing after the first guy who went in. I forgot your name. I'm sorry.
Sarashu.
Sarashu, yes.
Did Sarashu leave his bag on top of the fence?
Yes, to guard against razor wire.
Yeah.
Did he? Yeah, he's nodding yes. So.
Well, the thing is I haven't been able to climb over yet, so
of
course
course
my
still
bag's still there.
Right, yeah, so he's still climbing. Yeah. Do you leave it there when you get to the top, or do you pull it down behind you?
Unfortunately, I might need it for items that I get in the zone, so I will take it with me.
Okay. I think you said you were throwing your own bag up over the top there anyway, weren't you, Sharps?
Yeah, I throw it over, expecting to use Slash's bag to get over, but suddenly it's not there.
Ah, okay. You threw it over.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oops. Okay.
Confucius comes running up behind Sharps, sees his bag go over the fence and that there's no protection from the razor wire, and shakes his head in disgust. He puts on his suit and then throws his empty bag over the top and says, "Climb."
Sharps
And he waits for
nods
Sharps to
and
go
goes on. Over.
Okay. What about Sergey?
How long do one of these suits take to put on?
It probably takes a good minute or so to put it on, yeah. I mean, if you've practiced in it, you might be able to put it on in 30 seconds or something. But...
Throw the bag over and I'll climb. If he's leaving a bag up there, I'll use his bag for protection. I won't put it on this side.
Okay. Interesting. And Sergey, you're the next to come up. Oh, sorry, that was Sergey. Never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're the last to come up then. Vigilant.
I will just start whistling and pop a hunting knife off of my side sheath and just cut a hole in the fence and walk through it.
As you go up to the fence to cut a hole, you catch a glimpse of a section of the fence flapping a little bit, and you realize there's already a hole cut in a section here. It's man size.
I'll take note that somebody else did it, but I will still cut my own hole.
Okay. Confucius, did you climb over the top as well? You never said you were climbing it, did you? You were putting on a suit, just threw over your bag.
I did climb over the top.
Okay, you did, okay. Got it. So you're all through now. The gunfire has pretty much stopped behind you. Just there's an occasional pop as a sidearm is fired. You see basically behind you where you know the men were, you occasionally see a flash from a pistol here, a flash from a pistol on the other side. But they're either, well, more than likely they're just severely wounded and they're no longer moving. They're just kind of firing small arms fire back and forth at each other now at this stage.
They're dead. Keep going.
Look for a little bit of cover and change into the suit.
Well, you do have the cover of night at the moment. And it is night here in the zone as well, in the section where you are.
Okay, go with that. Open the bag, put the suit on.
Okay.
Can Sharps see where the bag landed?
Yeah. You knew roughly where it landed anyway when you threw it over.
Sharps begins to like walk toward it, but then they stop. They kind of stand there for a moment with their eyes closed for a moment, kind of channeling their sixth sense with this, seeing if there might be any anomalies, something they might regret. Do they feel anything, any tingling?
Yeah, you feel a sense of unease and dread. And you think momentarily you get the smell of something animal, something predatory, that it's gone.
I pull some bolts from my pocket, and I kind of crouch down, and I'm going to throw one at the bag.
Yep, nothing happens.
All right, I throw another just in case, and then I'm going to cautiously kind of like crouch walk over.
Okay. Yep, you get to the bag.
All right, I grab it and I rejoin the others.
Okay. So the town that you can see, the old abandoned town, is probably about 150 yards from the fence. If you head west or even northwest. The location that you're going to actually should be somewhere on the other side of that town. It seems to be in a it's in some kind of like a supermarket building or like a convenience store, gas station type thing on the other side of the town. So you figure if you're taking your time, you should be able to get there in a matter of hours, really. Maybe 5 hours or so.
Does this suit have a layout of like a map of this general area?
That's a very good idea. Let's say it does. It's something you can pull up as like an overlay on your heads-up display because they've.
I know a lot of towns are actually built by rivers. Is there a river that runs into this town?
There was a river that ran along the side of the town, but it's on the other side of the town, not the side you're on.
Oh, I see. So I couldn't hop in the river, make my way down in half the time.
No. And as a stalker, you know that could be very
touche.
dangerous as well because you may pass through anomalies and stuff along the way that you wouldn't get a chance to see because you'd be traveling too fast.
That's true, but that's a calculated risk.
True. Sometimes it's a risk that has to be taken.
So, looking at this, where's the way to enter into the town from the high ground? Obviously, not by the river. So it'd be on the side that we're on.
Yeah.
Which way is the wind blowing?
Currently, the wind is blowing southeast.
Is that downwind or upwind?
It's like blowing in your face if you're facing the direction you need to travel.
Excellent. Okay. I will motion towards the men to meet with me and to make plans.
Was there anything in the bag beside the suit?
Besides the suit, you find a GPS device and a mobile phone.
And Ian, do we already have our starting equipment, or did we just leave that
Oh yeah,
at our
whatever starting
domiciles?
equipment you want, you have as well. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Whatever starting equipment your personal wealth would have allowed.
I put my suit on too.
Okay. At this stage,
I kneel down.
is there anybody who hasn't put on their suit yet?
Are we able to smell what we smelled before while we have the suits on, or is smell just deadened by the suit?
What did you smell before?
Where you said we smelled something kind of animal before.
Nope, that was only Sergey. Who was it that had that ability? The sixth sense.
Okay, Sergey.
Not Sergey. Sharps.
Yeah.
Was that a smell, or was that just something he sensed?
It was just a sense that he picked up. Yep.
I will motion you guys over and kneel down on the ground. I'll pick up a small stick and draw a layout of the town, the river behind it, the motion of the wind, and our general elevation moving towards it. I'll make a point that where our GPS locates where this briefcase is and ask for points of view about how to approach, whether we should split up, go in different directions, send out someone to scout, or what ideas people have. Lay it on me.
Open land is safer.
I don't like the splitting up idea.
I would point to like the second or the first or second rule of stalking, which is have like what is it, 20 meters clearance on each side of the stalker.
You're muted,
You're
Phil.
muted, Phil.
So the general idea is to have the stalkers in a line or in some type of geometric pattern where we're 20 feet apart. Is that it?
No, it's more of you don't want to cross next to like or land of different elevation. Like you don't want to go in a canyon, you don't want to go next to a hill. If you have to encroach upon that 20-meter like buffer area between you and the object.
Confucius nods and thinks that going more or less in a straight line with each person following within their steps would make a wise idea.
A straight line to where we think the briefcase is?
Not a straight line to where we think the briefcase is, but a straight line to where we want our next destination to be.
Walk in single file.
Yes.
So I was thinking it would be bad to make a beeline for the suitcase.
No, we definitely don't want to make a
Yeah, that would be bad. That's stalker rule as well. Is you never take the straight route to where you're going.
And whoever was in the welcome wagon out in the street, if there's somebody else in here, I would assume that they have already let them know that we're on our way.
Where are we extracting from? Sharps asks.
The signal was last detected at a convenience store, gas station type place on the other side of this town ahead of you.
No, I mean like leaving the
Where do
zone.
we go after that?
Oh, well, Kitano did say that when you're close to the border to give him a call and he'd have an extraction team come and pick you up. He didn't say what that would be. No, outside the border of the zone, but
So we can assume that we're not necessarily going and coming straight back here. Okay.
remember, he's your handler, so he can kind of keep track of you using the satellite imaging if possible. Sometimes there may be interferences, but in fact, he comes over the radio now and says, so, I see you've slowed down. You made it across the fence. That's the first step.
Your men didn't make it, but we're here.
Well, like I said, this item is worth many lives. Hopefully the extraction team will have better luck, right?
Correct.
Well, while I appreciate the need for caution, don't dilly-dally. We don't have all day. Oh, speaking of which, at the moment, dawn break is about 45 minutes away from you. I'll keep giving you reminders as it gets closer. Just make sure you don't find yourselves too far out in the open. You'll want to be able to get solid cover between you and well, the air, essentially, when dawnbreak comes. The open sky, at least. And as you look up, you can see...
Has everyone put on their environmental suits yet?
What about your environmental suits? Sorry?
Has everyone else put that on? Sharps hasn't put it on yet. I'm going to take this opportunity to do that if everyone else has.
Has anybody else not put it on? I think everybody's put it on.
All right. Sharps is they haven't put it on yet, so they're going to take this opportunity to start changing.
It's good. You feel the temperature has dropped probably 40 degrees Celsius since you entered the zone. It's cold enough that if you don't wear the suit, you're going to be subjecting yourself to potential frostbite.
Confucius curses over the microphone because he would like to have a cigarette right now.
Is there a general area where you can make it to in 45 minutes in order to have shelter when the light comes up?
Well, there's a town 150 yards ahead of you.
I say we go that way.
I agree. Single file line.
Oh, you first.
I would have it no other way. And as I walk by you, I shoot you a glance.
Sergey folds up his bag and he follows at a slight distance.
Good idea. Who goes after Sergey? Confucius or...
I will take the middle position.
Oh, okay. So that's then Vigilant, then Sergey, then Shirashu.
Sharps will take the back.
So Sharps is standing there waiting for you to go next, Confucius.
I just look over at him, waiting for anything from him. Shake my head in disgust again at him. And I plod along after.
Okay. And you guys start to make the march forward. So you're at the point position, Vigilant.
Yep. My general strategy here, I'm going to go extremely slow. I have my handful of bolts out. If I see anything I don't like, could be a glimmer of light, could be a slight change in atmospheric pressure, something that shines, something that seems out of place, I will stop and proceed to throw bolts until I get a rough shape of the anomaly.
It begins to snow lightly. If you look up at the sky, any of you guys been out in the deep country on a clear winter night when like you can see millions of stars in the sky, it seems?
Did you say it getting snowy?
Yeah, it's snowing lightly. Oh, I think, did I lose you, Philip?
Yeah, sounded like he was going like that.
Yeah, I think you did. Anyway, yeah, it's snowing lightly, and you've got that clear, open winter sky up above you. You can even see the aurora borealis.
Oh, you can see the aurora borealis?
Hmm. Or some aurora. I don't know if it's the borealis. I don't know my auroras very well, but yeah. You've got those kind of northern light-like things in the sky.
And the snow is snow. If you look at it as it falls on your wrist, it looks like snow.
Yep, it melts like snow and everything on impact with your environmental suit.
Okay.
It's beginning to make a light dusting on the ground.
Sergey's got his pistol in his good hand.
There's not a cloud in the sky. And aside from the stars, you see no sun or moon either.
Part of Saito wants to hurry, but he also knows that rushing is how you die as a stalker, so he'll continue the same pace.
Okay. Give me a quick description as you're moving ahead.
Okay, so foot after plodding foot, you see me, perfect military stature. You can tell I went through the hard knocks when it came to police training. Probably had me forced marching quite a bit of the day. And Easterners do a lot more cardio than Westerners. So I'm the type of guy that would do a double marathon for fun. As I'm walking across the snow, I'm taking ever so care to place my feet wide enough apart as to not burden my followers. Because I know they will want to follow directly in my footsteps, my wisely decided footsteps. And I will every now and then stop and toss a screw in front of me just to make sure that there's not something I'm missing. And before too long, you can see like a snaking path going through the snow, dithering out at the end because snow has fallen over it and kind of obscured it. But the snaking trail leads to the edge of this completely derelict city.
As you get to the edge of this, well, it's more of a town by Japanese standards, but yeah, it'd probably be a small city by a lot of other nation standards. You see ahead of you, there's a bit of a shimmer in the air, and whereas on the left and the right you see dead city, directly ahead of you, you see a couple of houses with the light on, and you see people doing stuff in the streets. It looks like they're Looks like they're ice skating in the street or something, and they're laughing. But the laughs sound really tinny and far away, even though they can't be more than 100 feet away from you.
Do we all see this?
Well, he sees it first because you guys are walking single file behind him, but yeah, you'll see it as you get close to him.
Well, as soon as I see it, I'm going to throw up my hand to stop and immediately take like 4 steps backwards, trying to match the footprints that led me there.
Mm-hmm.
Sharps pulls out their binoculars and zooms in for a closer look on this anomaly.
Yeah, it's like you're watching an image on like a grainy videotape almost. An old video cassette being played in a rundown VCR. The people are laughing and playing in the street, but they don't sound, like they're actually there. And they, like I said, they look like they're being looked at through an old television set.
Being that Sharps and I are taking up the rear, what's on the left and right side of us?
Mostly open field.
Open field?
Mm-hmm.
So we're not in between buildings yet.
Not yet, no. This is the first buildings at the edge that you can kind of see ahead of you. If you look to the right and left of you as well, you can also get a glimpse of you see more of the border fence running along. You no longer hear any more gunfire, so those guys either ran out of bullets or have died.
I'll pull out a bolt and throw it into the anomaly.
Okay, as you do so, there's like a distortion in the air, almost like a bubble. Like as if you just thrown the bolt through water, but instead of being horizontal, it's vertical in the air in front of you. And the bolt passes through, and the bolt hits a boy who is like skating in the street, and it knocks him down, and he starts to cry and holds his hand up. And his mother runs over and starts to comfort him.
I
Does
will
the mother
mouth
look
him.
our way?
That's a good question.
Sorry, you said what? Does she look your way?
Yes.
She does, in fact, and she reaches over and picks up the bolt and is holding it in her hand, looking in the direction that you guys are at, and she's looking left, looking right. She doesn't seem to see you.
Crouch down.
Oh, temporal anomaly. And I'll slowly back up even more.
I'll back up as he backs up because I'm right behind him.
Okay. You guys will back right up to Surashu, basically.
Hmm.
We need to go around that.
If you wait long enough, it will pass.
How long have we been traveling since he warned us that
Not to dilly-dally.
dawn break was 45 minutes away?
About 20 minutes. Kitano comes over the radio in all of your headsets. What's going on? You're going the wrong way. You want to die, you idiots? Dawnbreak is coming. Get to the city.
Oh, we've run into a temporal anomaly.
Temporal anomaly? Is it a shift?
So we were
Probably.
following the field in between these buildings, and down between the buildings we saw these people.
Well, you
What's
were approaching
to
the building there.
Yeah, so what's to the... Is there a building we could go around to avoid it? A doorway, some way to get inside of a building that doesn't seem to be within?
You could try to circle around, yeah, to buildings where you don't see the lights.
Using my knowledge of pathfinding in the zone, how far do those structures look away at a normal pace?
Well, you were about 50 feet away. But you mean the structures that don't have the lights?
Mm-hmm, like if we went around.
Oh yeah, probably a good 100 feet or so.
So I would estimate that would be longer than Dawnbreak hitting us.
Depends on how careful you're being. You could make it in 10 minutes. Maybe.
Sriracha will head that way.
Okay, Sriracha is now taking point.
I'll turn to the others and say, Democratic vote, what do you want to do?
I suggest we move and follow Sriracha over to the other buildings. However, I do ask if anybody has any digging equipment, a shovel of any kind, because we just don't want to be caught out in the air. Perhaps we can dig for the next 20 minutes and at least cover ourselves up through Dawnbreak.
The ground is frosted, is it not?
Yeah, it is now, and there's still snow falling. But
Hey,
solid.
So wait a moment and follow Sriracha.
Sriracha, I'm going to walk over to you when you start heading the other direction and dump a handful of screws in your hand. And underneath my breath say, screw you.
Oh,
And
screw
let it
you.
linger.
So,
Let it linger a little while I look at you.
So the way I handle this is like flicking seeds into fertile soil. So like Johnny Appleseed, I will make my way to this other building.
Mm-hmm.
I will follow him about 10 feet behind.
And I'm not taking this careful, measured pace. I'm walking at a casual pace that I should be able to cover the ground in plenty of time. I'm just flicking these things about every 10 feet to the left, to the right, to the front, in that pattern.
Okay.
I'm sitting in the back recounting the tale of Lefty Yusaka, who used up all of his nuts and then lost his manhood.
As I pass by, I tell the men to pick up the nuts that I toss that are unaffected.
Sharks will get right on that, since they're in the rear.
yeah, sound very smart.
You get about halfway there, Philip, and you get a sense of something not being right in front of you.
Something not being right in front of me?
Yeah, something feels wrong. There's like a change in the air pressure ahead of you or something almost. It's like the wind has shifted as well.
I stop. I take out a piece of paper. I fold it up into a plane and throw it.
You throw it. It goes about 15 feet ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's as if it runs into a severe updraft. It turns and blows almost straight up into the air at a supersonic rate of speed almost.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can't see it anymore.
I take a stick that's next to me, and I start to draw the diameter around where I feel this phenomenon. And I will keep the stick in front of me, and as soon as I start to feel the stick start to move up from my hand, I take a step back away from it and still try to move towards the building.
Okay. As you're doing so...
hopefully the stick's around 3 feet. Some kind of like buffer.
As you're doing so, then just as you think you're about to feel a tug, pretty much as soon as you do feel any tug, the stick is ripped from your hand with such force and speed that it actually tears the flesh of your suit. And you realize if you had been holding that without the suit on, it probably would have ripped your hand off. That's how forceful it was. And the stick is gone. Shot straight up into the air so fast that now you can't see it.
I look at the ground. You said snow was falling. Is snow still falling in this area?
No, actually, you can see there's a part where the ground is just wet, but there's no powder at all.
And there are parts where there is powder?
Yes,
Then I will walk towards those parts.
you're going to follow the powder around.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. You can feel a warm dampness and then a stinging cold on part of your hand.
I take out of my pack some of my camo, and I wrap my hand with it. And then I'm going to take that hand, and I'm going to put it to my face. And when is the oxygen in this suit just recycled?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a rebreather or whatever, you know.
So I'm not able to exhale my air into my hand to warm it up. So what I will do is I will take that hand and I will put it underneath my right armpit and try to help keep it up with my body heat.
Cool.
You're like putting your hand like under your suit between your
Yes,
your arm
yeah.
and your. So when I see you do that, I'll say, be careful, Sarashu. If your hand touched that anomaly, you're gonna spread it all over your body.
Very wise. But it was a stick that touched the anomaly.
I thought I saw it rip part of your suit off.
Where are you exactly behind me? And
I'm
what
right
keen vision do you have?
I have the sharp eyes alertness feat.
Yep.
Well, maybe you should pay attention to more anomalies instead of watching me, and we might do better.
Perhaps you should stand in the back with the women and children and let a man lead the group.
I turn and face you, and I step forward to you.
Not now, not here. Keep
Starts
going.
yells out from the back. Dawn is coming, guys.
Confucius rushes forward and brings out of his pack some of his surgical tape, and he asks you to move your hand back into your suit while he tries to tape this up. You'll lose part of the motion of your hand, but at least it will keep you warmer.
Let's do this once we find an area to get out of the sunlight.
Very wise. Okay, so you get around. You eventually make your way around this weird, like reverse gravity supersonic anomaly, and you have like dead buildings all around you, and you're now managed to kind of walk in between a couple of these. This is a residential area, and Kitano says, "You guys better hurry up. You have 2 minutes till dawnbreak hits you." What's taking you so goddamn long? Take cover.
Oh, I'm sorry. Vigilant is a gimp. He takes a long time to walk.
And I'll say over the comm that Sarashu, is idiot, already has damaged your suit. You should take it out of his pay.
This is coming from a gimp in a suit.
I can walk faster on my hands.
You should do it, monkey.
And you should stay in back with women and children. You probably get along good.
So,
60 seconds until dawnbreak, you idiots.
how far away are we from this building now?
Oh, you're probably 10 feet away from one of the houses.
Yeah, I will walk towards the nearest house. Is there a way in?
There's a window.
Is there a door?
Not on this side of the house.
I walk over to the other side of the house.
30 seconds.
Is there a door?
There is.
Fuck it, I'm breaking through the window.
Is it a jar? Don't break the window. Is it a jar?
I'm breaking through the
The
window.
door is not ajar, and by the time you get to the door, he says, 5 seconds!
I kick the door open. I lean back and just kick it like a cop.
I'm going through the window as well.
Yeah, Confucius follows in through the window.
So do they cut open their suits, go into the glass?
Since they're bullet resistant, I doubt it.
They're bullet resistant, not slash resistant.
Yeah, but
Two
I
different
mean,
types of impacts, right? Like Kevlar's bullet resistant, but it can still
If
cut
we're
it.
breaking
So
open the window, we're doing away with any large shards that are
Kevlar.
poking up when we're climbing through.
Yeah, Kevlar is resistant though to like a piercing, like a knife.
but
Like if you
it's
break the
it's
glass,
not
you can
it's
get
not.
Plus, we've got the empty bag to put
We're not
over
talking
it.
piercing. We're talking slashing.
We still got the empty bag. It protected us from razor wire. We put
Well-
it over the edge as we go through.
I can tell you this: it's a lot smarter than walking around the house. So I go through the window.
You can smash through the window, no problem. And you did that at the 30-second warning. So who goes next behind him? I know Sarashu's going around to the door.
I'm in an all-out sprint running in.
Okay, so you're second in. Okay,
Sharps is right behind Confucius.
okay, and so the last one to go is Sergey, yeah?
I guess.
So Sergey, describe to me how this looks as you're the last one to go through, as you can see the shimmering light of dawnbreak racing towards you. Like I said, like a vertical aurora that touches the ground.
It's like a searchlight out of the sky.
I'm doing dishes. Do you have any
It's
bowls?
actually more like a light curtain.
On the edge of my boot starts to smoke as I pull my foot in.
Yeah, it does. So you get yourself in, and just as you're doing that, Sarashu on the other side walks up and kicks the door, and the door swings open. What do you do, Sarashu?
I enter. So I walk in. I see these guys stumbling in through the window like the Three Stooges.
Yeah, actually, as you go in about the same time that Sergey is coming through the window, the other guys are already inside.
Wait a minute. You're telling me all these guys got in through the window in the amount of time it took me to walk around the house and kick the door?
Yeah, it took you
Seems
about
so.
25 seconds to walk around there and kick open the door.
We were
And they
in
were
a
standing there
hurry.
by the window, jumping through one at a time. So I figured it'd take about
Okay.
one guy every
Sure.
I'm actually leaning against the wall when you come into the room, and I have a pouty look on my face, like he's still alive.
You're all still alive, and all of a sudden, it basically goes from pitch black to noon daylight outside. Just like somebody turned on a light switch. And you get a smell in the air of,
Ozone.
yeah, very much kind of like a burnt smell as well.
I close the door.
And Sergey, yeah, your suit, the sole of the boot on the suit is smoking a bit, and you look down and you see half of the rubber has melted away on the bottom. You still have a thin layer of rubber between you and the ground.
So as soon as Sergey is through the window, Sharp straps on some safety goggles, rushes to the window, and pulls the curtains shut. Won't do much, but it should keep us from going blind in here.
Guitar says, well, did you all make it? Who died?
No one yet.
Oh, good, you all made it. Dawnbreak is past. You should be okay now. Looks like
Confucius
Duskbreak is about 2 hours away.
Brought you to come over so he can stitch up his suit.
Oh, how hot is it in this house right now?
It's kind of normal temperature.
It seems fine for right now.
It's probably
Perhaps-
pretty warm. It's a bit warmer inside the suits, of course, but
Yeah, before it gets cold again, I'll have you do it. But for right now, I want to have the mobility of my hand, if it's not going to be freezing cold. But thank you.
okay. Well, what are you guys waiting for? Carry on. You have 2 hours before Duskbreak.
So the Dawnbreak this is out of character. The dawn break lasts only like a few seconds, and then it's back
Yeah,
to night.
it's literally only the break of dawn or the break of dusk that is
Okay.
dangerous. The actual day or night themselves are not inherently dangerous. It's just the passing from one to the other, much like the temporal shifts and things of that sort.
Sharks takes off the safety goggles, puts it back in their belt. Anyone hurt?
Just
No
my
one?
boot.
Walk it off. You'll be fine.
No, I want to keep my boot.
Is Sriracha's hand actually treated? Like medically treated?
Not yet.
I think it's just sealed up.
Well, he didn't treat it at all, did he? So.
Looking at the doctors, I'll say, do you guys have med kits?
Of course.
I do.
How deep is the wound?
I look at my hand. Is it actually wounded? As far as I know, the suit was just peeled off.
Yeah, it is wounded. That cold feeling you felt inside, that cold, wet feeling, is actually some of your blood where you have a slash just across the hand there, where the wood must have scraped you as it tore through the suit. It was moving.
So
at,
the wood could scrape through the suit, but glass not. Okay.
It was moving at Mach speed.
Okay.
So out of this house, which direction is towards the anomaly we saw? The door, or?
Yeah, the door would be the closest way, unless you go to the other side of the house and go through another window maybe, but either one would be kind of equidistant, and the door is already technically open.
See if there's a back door.
There is a back door, and that leads back towards the fences.
Oh.
Confucius steps over to Sriracha and says, although you do not want me to stitch up your suit, please let me stitch up your hand. And he asks him to stick out his tongue. He takes a good long look at his tongue.
You can't see my tongue through my suit.
We can't see it?
No, he's got a full zone suit on at the moment.
In that case, he just bandages up his hand, and that's it.
Are they reflective? We can't see each other's faces?
Let's see, they've got the built-in HUDs. Yeah, we'll say they are reflective. But you know what? We'll say because they have the built-in HUDs, there's also a camera on the inside, so if you want, you can broadcast your faces kind of on while you're communicating with each other.
This would be a little tiny tongue.
It's all really high-tech.
A little tiny fuzzy image of a tongue.
Mm-hmm. So I stare at that for a good long while. And out of my side, I take out a couple of needles, and I stick them right in between his third and fourth finger, and then one right by his thumb. And just whisper meridians. As I just stand there, breathe for a few moments. Then I continue along with stitching up.
You're the acupuncture doctor, that's right.
After a few moments, I'm done. He's bandaged up. I say, now go.
I'm the junkie doctor.
Oh, thank you, Confucius-san.
Yeah,
I give you my medical kit, Confucius, because you can probably do more with it than me anyways.
You guys have an Eastern doctor and a Western doctor.
Go look outside the door that the other fellow came through.
Yep.
Anything obvious going on out there?
No, it's daytime. There's no sun in the sky. You don't know where the light's coming from, but it's lit up like midday.
Sharps will throw a bolt out the open door.
Yep.
Just to see like, if the light affects it in any way.
It bounces on the sidewalk over to the street.
We good?
Is this still snowing?
No. And the snow has like melted on the ground. It's gone. In fact, it's completely dry out as well. There's no hint that even the ground is wet from the snowfall or anything.
Sergei steps out of the house at the front door and to the side.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna walk over to Sarashu and lean against the wall and say, "So, how are you holding up?"
Sarashu pulls out a bit of his katana and looks at him.
Oh, you still have fight in you.
Oh, you must want to press your luck. You want to press your luck, Cupcake?
How big is the katana, Phil? It's like a full-size katana.
It's like a full-size katana, yeah.
Oh, that is a beautiful sword. Did that belong to
Oh,
you?
if only you had sword. But no, you're a fucking woman.
Oh, is it woman? I thought woman take sword.
Yeah,
You
I
have
use your
sword.
mom as a sheath.
Oh. I like kind of like do a half.
Do you want
walk
to
around
watch
him.
me sheath your mother?
I would make comment like that too if I almost died 3 times.
Well,
And I
good.
think it's
Glad you're here. You're so helpful.
Cheshire look on my face. I predict before we go too much further, you will be dead.
I cut him in half.
I simply back up 1 foot because he swings like a drunk with my massive reflexes, which are unparalleled.
I'm a master swordsman. I compensate for his movement, split him in half from shoulder to hip.
I'm so much faster than his very mechanical, slow movements that it's like dodging a machine that you watch do the same thing 5 times.
Yes, but he's clown shoots trip him up as I deftly move.
And his period makes him emotional and he starts crying.
Okay, so the way these actions work in Stalker, for anybody who doesn't know how the system works, which would probably just be Ernesto, when actions come up, you have to judge the idea and the role play of the action. And I rate those on a number between 1 to 5. There's a possibility of a bonus point if they have an attribute or a piece of equipment or something that not an attribute, but a skill or a piece of equipment that really applies to what they're doing, and then multiply those 2 numbers together to get their total score. And that's measured against either a difficulty class or the other person's score in the event of an opposed action, such as this one. So I've got both of your ideas and your role play. And is there anything else? You said you have a Master Swordsman ability, is that right?
Oh, yeah, it's under fitness, which is 3.
Okay. And what about you, Andrew?
I have reflexes, strong, fast, dexterous, sharp eyes, which are under alertness and fitness. And I would be trying to dodge backwards into the narrow hall, which will impede his drawing left to right.
Okay.
I've taken a second. I've already started to draw my weapon, and then with the insult, I just slashed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So.
Okay. So and then I just gotta think about the role play. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's about dead even. So you managed to avoid the slash, Andrew, but it manages to catch one of the valves for the rebreather part of your suit and slashes one of those. Unless you want to use a hand of fate. You're muted.
Oh, oops, yeah, I said, yeah, I'd hand of fate alertness.
Okay. So reduce your alertness by 1 point until after the game session.
Roger.
Does that bring it to 0 or 1? How many alertness points do you have?
It brings it to 2 because I have 3 alertness.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay. Yep. So you managed to, momentarily, you think he's about to slash the valve, the pipe or whatever, the filter on your rebreather, but you just, for a moment, his sword seems to stop in the air, and then it continues its slash, and you just avoid.
So my movement's back into the hall to bait him, and I'm going to slowly raise up my shotgun into the narrow confines of the hall and look at him and say, "Come now, if you're gonna kill me, at least do it after I've aided you in getting the briefcase."
At the side of the wall, that's when I light the oil in the bottle and throw it into the hallway.
Oil in what bottle?
Molotov cocktail, is that what you got?
That's right.
Okay.
Well, it's good. I mean, you're pulling it out, like is the rig already stuffed in it?
Yeah, man, it's prepped.
Probably already has the rag in it, yeah, but he's got to pull it out and light it.
With my sharp eyes, I would immediately try to shoot the Molotov cocktail, setting him on fire.
Unfortunately, you're behind a wall, in the darkness, pointing a shotgun.
I'm
not beside the wall, getting ready to throw it in the hallway.
The thing is, though, I'm not behind the wall. I backed up straight into a hallway as you missed cutting me. I can see you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's
I
no
guess
darkness in here, is
that's
there?
the problem of not having a map.
Yeah, there's no darkness either. It's daylight.
Do you want to retcon the action, Phil?
Yeah, I'll retcon the action and move forward sharply with the sword.
Okay.
I'll unload 3 chambered shots of the shotgun.
Sharps is standing off to one side.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, right. Sergey's gone outside. Sharps, what's Confucius doing during all this?
So, for anyone who's seen the Goonies, and when Data sees them printing the money saying $50 bill, $50 bill, he's in the back saying, $1 million, $1 million, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? I have this fucktard Westerner here who can't get anything right, and I have you two fighting. I'm not going to make it out alive for $1 million without you. Stop.
So my sword would be drawn before he would pull the shotgun. When he would bring it up, I would just parry with the sword and thrust.
Well, what's the protocol for attacking? Is it going to be just you have all indefinite first attacks?
No.
Well, I think I
It
have.
happen simultaneously.
Because I was reactive the first time. You would think in a narrow hallway with my shotgun pulled up, because I didn't narrate that first, that you would be reactive in this instance.
It's
Well,
gonna
I
happen
know that you
simultaneously.
probably pulled the shotgun off your back. It hasn't just been laying at your side, has it?
Basically, I've been walking around with it at my side ever since we entered the zone.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, the first thing I said was I take it out of my bag.
He did pull it up too as he backed into the hallway.
No, he backed into the hall. Well, whatever.
Which was purposefully baited to move you into a lane where you couldn't navigate left or right to plow you with the shotgun.
Well, the thing was, I guess you have it set up in a room, right? And then you took a step backward to avoid the swing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me that the distance between my arm length, the size of the sword, which is 3 feet, and the amount of distance that he moved, just barely escaping from where his hose is so far that I couldn't parry an upcoming shotgun.
It was a hand of...
Because the shotgun would be itself much further, I mean, it would take much more room than where the tubing is for his breather.
You could make a move at the shotgun as he raised it up, yes.
And that's what I would do. I would just do it to parry it to the side, so when he blasts, it shoots a hole in the wall.
I would pull the shotgun up, already shooting it, aimed at his lower body, so if he tried to parry it, I would discharge at least one into his legs.
My forward momentum carrying the sword directly into his chest.
The
Okay.
Are you parrying or are you attacking?
I think you always parry to the center of the body.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
A parry is not a riposte. A riposte is an attack. So yeah, I would just discharge the gun, pulling it upward as I'm backing up into the hall, baiting him into an area where he cannot navigate left or right.
I would stab him through the chest and pin him to the wall.
Okay. So
That would.
the
Okay,
shotgun
yeah,
is
just
the shotgun is going to go off, and it's going to hit you in the lower body. The sword is going to also slash, at the very least, at your arms holding the shotgun. So the question is, and you guys can type this to me in the chat, what is the intention of your action? Are you looking to maim, kill, etc., etc.? Just go ahead and type it to me so that your answers don't influence one another.
Do you want it on Facebook or on
Yeah, do it on
Google?
Facebook so you can do private. You can do private chat on Google. But actually, Philip doesn't have access to that because he's on an iPad.
Sergey
Sergey.
hears the shotgun go off. He's going back into the house with his gun drawn.
Okay. Confucius and what's his name? Sharps. I take it you guys are.
I mean, I'm still wearing the bodysuit with my legs, all right?
Yeah, you're both wearing the suits.
I look over at Sharps, and I just shake my head and say, "I'm sorry. I misjudged you. These two are maniacs."
Sharps doesn't pay any attention. They're like hyper focused on what's going on in this hallway. They have their first aid kit out. They're just gonna like rush in there as soon as someone gets hurt, and try and get between the people to patch up the wounded.
Confucius will not have his first aid kit out, but is standing back watching.
Okay. Okay. So, question is, okay, your shotgun. What does that fire? That fires it's a spread shotgun. What do you call it? Pellets or whatever.
It's a
What
yeah,
kind
it's
of
a
load?
it's a pump action shotgun that fires slugs.
Okay.
So it's got solid slugs.
What's the caliber of a shotgun slug?
It's huge. It's not small caliber.
Bigger than a pistol caliber?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, by far.
Okay. So your shotgun goes off and hits him in the pelvic area, penetrates the suit, and you feel, again, now this time you feel a warm moisture somewhere around your crotch area, Phil, as you drive the sword forward, which is going to pierce your suit, Andrew, right around the solar plexus area. Now, do you want to spend a hand of fate? Either of you?
I would use Hand of Fitness for fast.
Okay. So in that case, then, it won't go straight through your solar plexus and instead will cut you along the left rib cage, cutting through your suit and drawing blood. What about you, Philip?
Could I use my Hand of Fate to negate his?
No. You can use it just to reduce the severity of your own injury.
I will say that I have a Hand of Fate physical fitness
Yep.
to take a grazing blow with the shotgun.
Reduce your physical then. And so instead of hitting you directly in the pelvis, it does do it takes a chunk off your hip.
When he gets hit by the shotgun, does he fall back at all? Does it push him back, or does he?
It would certainly hit him in the hip. Yeah, it would turn him a bit, and but because of the fact that his sword is kind of also at the same time in the other guy's suit, in Vigilance suit, it wouldn't push him back that far. He'd be able to kind of.
Because I want Sergey to come into the room and see what's going on and walk up and empty his gun into Andrew.
Okay. What's everybody else doing while this is going on? So you still have your shotgun in your hand, Andrew, and because Philip's sword went for an attack and cut into your left side, you have it free. Everybody can declare an action.
Is this building 2-story?
Sure.
I don't know where the stairs would be though.
They wouldn't be here. They'd probably be by the front door where Sergey's walking in again.
I would. Well, the side that I hit him on would have turned him. So I would try to veer to that side of the hall to play off of his wound, and once again level both shots of the shotgun, pulling him back into the choke.
Okay.
When he goes to cock the shotgun, I'll just swing up and take his head.
Okay, you're going to go for a killing blow with the sword.
Yeah, so you see me, my body turns. The entire wall has been sprayed full of blood. Like the front of his suit has all gone red, like he's wearing a red apron. And I take my left hand and I'm guiding the sword. And with my right hand, I'm moving like a swoosh, like a Nike sign, up to his head, up to watch it like spin as it tumbles off his body.
As I back up in the hall, I watch as the naive animal falls for the most basic trap of hunting, limiting its mobility and coming into a choke of a firing lane. As he comes forward slowly, I just watch, anticipating his death, knowing how much it's going to make me happy to see an unworthy man dead at his own folly and stupidity.
In a closed space this small, it's hard to move away from a shot or from a large blade.
Confucius, are you doing anything during this?
Confucius is going to look over at Sharps and say, "Stop. Put your pack away. Let the two die. We only need Sergei to go get the piece that we need."
What is Sharps doing?
Sharps reaches into their belt, pulls out a smoke grenade, pops the pin, and chucks the smoke grenade into the room.
Okay.
Into the hall or into the room?
Into the room where the fight's going on.
They're in the hall.
Oh, yeah, I chuck it into the hallway then.
Okay. And Sergey, you were still walking in and unloading your gun in the direction of...
Well, I wanted to come in the door, walk forward, and basically when I came up even with... what's the fellow? The Japanese fellow with the sword.
Yeah, he's going to be
Past
between
him.
you and Vigilant.
Yeah, I want to shoot past him.
Okay.
You both are endangering us. One of you needs to go, and it's you. And I empty my gun at him.
At Vigilant.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So, Vigilant, you pull up as he steps forward, doing his slashing attack. Basically, you're both going to kill each other, short of any kind of amazing hand of fate.
I would try to use my hand of fate to guarantee that we both die to the same blow. Like a move of dexterity where I receive his blade but plant the gun firmly on him so there's no mistaking the blow would kill him.
Andrew, are you okay that if I slash your mask, I also notice that you have blue eyes?
Yeah, that's cool.
I was like, oh no, I killed my brother!
You guys both had blue eyes. Okay, so you still walk in, Sergey. Anyway, the smoke starts to pour out of the grenade. The sword comes up in a quick motion, just as Sarashu starts to kind of get knocked back from the blast of the double-barrel shotgun that goes off in his chest, and you start firing your gun into Vigilant as his head starts to leave his body and the mask falls away. And that's 2 stalkers down.
Right.
Thanks, guys. It's been great.
Bullshit.
It's been great, fellas.
Just total bullshit.
And so Sergey and Sergey and Sharps and Confucius are still standing there in perfect health.
Sharps, they know it's probably over, but they rush into the smoke anyway to try, with their medical kit out, to try and do something, anything.
Yeah, your suit's still intact, so the smoke doesn't bother you at all. But yeah, there's medical science isn't going to save these guys without like a full, team and full hospital setup. The one
I'm
guy's
sure.
head has literally been detached from his body, and the other guy has had two massive slugs blasted through his ribs.
I know it's a long shot, but I do have an adrenaline shot.
You might be able to prolong Philip's death, but
Don't bother.
he's gonna die.
Take the
Oh,
shotgun.
I come back out of the smoke and just kind of shake my head.
Yeah.
Don't dishonor me. Cut off my head. I don't want to die like this.
Do I have any
Confucius
way of knowing
begins-
what the temperature is in here?
Yeah, sure. It could come up on your HUD. It's almost 30 degrees Celsius.
I would like to, if it seems like it's something that I could do without harming myself, I would like to take one of, who's the dead fellow with the shotgun?
The dead fellow with the shotgun was vigilant. He was the ex-cop.
I would like to replace my burned boot with one of his still in good shape boots.
Yeah, you have any kind of technical skills? Something that would justify modifying a...
I just have craft skills.
Yeah, you could make it work.
Just
You
real
might not want to
fast.
go. You might not want to go swimming in a radioactive pool after the fact, but you should be fine for most things that you're going to encounter anyway.
Well, does it seem like it would be an improvement over my burnt boot?
Well, your burnt boot is still functional. It just is missing half the sole, so you're a bit uneven. You walk with a weird limp.
Oh, I already walk with a weird limp. Never mind then.
Yeah, you walk. You walk with an amplified limp now.
Grab the shotgun unless somebody else reaches for it. Take the bolts that he had on him that he's been throwing around, anything else that looks useful, and start walking back towards the door.
Okay.
Confucius takes his suit off, lights a cigarette, and just begins whimpering to himself like, "Nine-fingered freak Westerner. Dummy Westerner. The only smart one left here. Fucktards." And he just keeps smoking and utterly pissed off.
You guys walk out and continue on down the street, checking for anomalies along the way. Occasionally you come across a weird disruption in the air. You have to work around it. And then you see a hot dog and cotton candy stand in the middle of the street. And you think you hear some kind of music playing from it, almost kind of like ice cream truck music you'd hear, in the United States. It's just there's nobody at it. It's just in the middle of the street. This weird,
Throw a bolt at it
enticing music playing. You throw a bolt at it.
and duck.
The bolt hits it, bounces off of it.
Any noise besides the music?
Nope, doesn't change. Music continues as it was. You start to feel kind of sad, though.
Confucius asks Sharps to go get him some ice cream.
Confucius, what? Oh, ask Sharps.
So I feel more sad than I usually feel being Russian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like being amplified. You all start to feel this sadness.
What's to the left?
More street and then a house.
Go towards the house.
Getting closer.
As long as it's not towards the ice cream.
Okay, yeah, just kind of keep your distance. So as you get further away from it and get closer to that house on the other side of the street, you feel the sadness kind of fading. You start to feel a bit happier.
Still trying to throw bolts and retrieve bolts.
Oh, you gonna try to retrieve the bolts that you threw at the hot dog stand that are sitting beside it?
Just the ones I throw straight ahead.
Okay, gotcha. Confucius?
I yell out that as he's throwing out bolts, I'll retrieve them because I'm falling behind him.
Mm-hmm.
How close are we to our point where we need to make?
You are probably just a couple hours away.
So the general idea is a kind of a zigzagging path that kind of circles to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thought.
Okay, so you guys get away around the hot
So
dog stand.
Sharks is trailing a bit behind their head. They're following behind Confucius, but their head is down. They're kind of trailing a bit behind, a bit lost in thought. Perhaps the death of these two stalkers that they barely knew is having a harsher effect on them than you might have otherwise thought.
Yeah, keep thinking back to that scene in the hallway. There's a lot of blood in there.
And I couldn't do a thing.
The one guy took severe trauma to the chest cavity. The other guy lost his head. Yeah, definitely very, very bloody.
It was coming. Seemed inevitable. Sergei keeps checking back, making sure everybody's coming along.
The only two natives to Japan have killed each other. So now you have the American, the Russian, and the Chinese guy stalking through the streets of this abandoned village, town, city, whatever.
It's all that honor bullshit.
You guys, you maneuver around for a couple of hours until you're getting pretty damn close to, and you can even see in the distance, maybe say about 100 yards ahead of you, the convenience store / gas station that you're trying to make your way to, where the target is supposed to be. And as you're doing so, you hear a single gunshot, pow, come from ahead.
What cover is around us?
You're like now kind of you're outside of the town. There's some bushes, a tree.
Crouched down. Do we see it hit anything, or we just hear it from the distance?
You just hear it from the distance. You don't see a bullet flying or anything. You just hear pow.
We don't even
Sounds
know
like it
it's
probably came from. Sounds like it probably came from the gas station.
So as soon as I hear the gunshot, I have the fast skill. I just like break out into a sprint and I catch up with Sergei and kind of like slide down next to him. Who's hit? Who's hurt? Anyone hurt?
I'm not even sure if they were shooting at us.
Where did that come from?
Up ahead.
That could be the person who actually was originally sent in, who we have to extract.
True.
I yell out in Japanese, "Who's there?"
Oh, I wouldn't have done that.
Kitano comes over the radio. What are you guys doing? Dust break is 5 minutes away.
Someone shot at us.
You're close. Can you get to the thing? Somebody shot at you? Shit.
Or somebody shot. We heard a shot.
Hurry up. Get to the gas station. Dust break. 5 minutes away.
Is there a building that's oblique to us and the gas station?
No. You'd have to go back towards the village.
So it's a straight shot to the gas station, or else there's nothing around.
Or you can go back to one of the last building.
How far
of the
back?
city stuff. I'd say, let's see, I said it was 100 yards away to the gas station. Maybe 100 feet only back to the nearest building.
And how long till dust break?
5 minutes. It's going to get 5 minutes. It's going to get really cold where you guys are. Hurry up, get the artifact. Don't let them get away with it.
Do we see anybody moving up there?
Don't make Sriracha and Vigilance death mean nothing.
They did it to themselves. It was meaningless. I start going back to the nearest building I see that we can get inside.
And he starts cursing, "God damn it, cowardly gaijin bastards. Your death will be far worse than theirs if you don't get that item."
There's no lights or anything on inside the gas station, right?
No.
I'm going to run towards the gas station.
So you guys are doubling back.
Sergey is doubling back.
I started to double back, but then he broke into a run.
Starts to run towards the gas station.
I'm going for the gas station too. This is a chance
And
to
I
get
follow him.
it for you, Pusa.
Okay, so you're all running towards the gas station. Okay, as you approach the gas station, you can see the windows are all busted out of the front of it. The door is like hanging off the hinges. Yeah. Doesn't take you. How long would it take you to run 100 yards? Not long. So you still have a few minutes before dusk break.
I yell into the gas station. Anyone there? We're here to help.
Head for the doorway.
Okay.
Is there any response?
No response. Sergey, as you approach the door, there's another blast of a gun from within. This time it is shooting at you. What do you do?
Throw myself to the side, up against the wall outside the door.
Okay.
Like a drop and roll.
Right?
Try to get up to the door and have my gun out.
It misses you as you duck around outside the place. You know, you saw a brief muzzle flash inside. And now you hear voices inside, kind of half whispering, "Oh no, they must have come for the artifact. If they come through that doorway, kill them. Take the briefcase, get out of here. I'll cover the door."
Sharps pulls out their digital camera and kind of like sticks it around the corner of the doorway and snaps a picture.
Okay. Boom, gunshot goes off as well. But it's just your hand, so you move your hand quick enough, and you know, it's a small target. They don't shoot your hand with a phone or anything.
I take a look at the picture. Can I like tell where their position is?
Yeah, you can see from the flash, you can see a man kind of crouched down behind, well, a dead body, half of a dead body anyway, pointing a gun kind of almost directly at the point where you took the picture from. The dead body is another Japanese man who's missing his legs basically from maybe about 6 inches below the crotch.
Start making my way around the outside of the gas station.
He's got a single bullet wound in his forehead. So you start to move around the outside of the gas station?
Looking for another way in.
Left or right?
Left.
Okay.
Whatever side of the doorway I was on, I guess that was left.
That's fine. That's why I was giving you a choice. Yeah, there's lots of shattered windows and such.
Sounding like a broken record. Well, actually, no. Sharps is going to go around the right side of the building.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to follow around to the left because there must be another way in through the back.
Okay. So you two
Were we at the back or were we at the front?
You're at the front. Sharps is going around the right. Sharps, as you come around the right, you see two people kind of like sneaking out of a side door on the right side of the building. One of them is holding some kind of a really high-tech briefcase with like a vacuum cleaner hose attached to it. And they look momentarily shocked as they turn and look at you. What do you do?
I wish I had a firearm on me. That's what I do. And I make the motion of drawing something from my waistband as sort of a bluff to get them to run, maybe split up.
Okay. So you make a motion of reaching for something from your waistband, and one of them, the one that's not holding the briefcase, also makes a motion like he's going to draw something from his waistband. You guys move around the left side of the building, and yeah, you do find another door.
Now,
Have
is
the
there
shotgun
a
now,
loading
kick
dock?
open the door and blast whether or not I see anything.
Okay.
Is there a loading dock anywhere around here where trucks would pull up? Is there a truck parked behind here?
No, there's not. There's not like a loading dock on the back of the building. They mostly would have brought stuff in through the front, and then of course the gas trucks themselves would pull up out front where the pumps are. But you see him kick open this door and goes in, firing the shotgun that he took off of Vigilant's corpse. In the flash of the first shot, you see the guy with the pistol that you saw before, except now you're behind him, and he's turning to look in your direction and trying to bring his pistol around the bear. He no longer has the body between you and him because it's now on the other side of him. Confucius, you're still outside, I presume.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So I need to know then, immediately anyway, what Sharps and Sergey are doing.
Sergey's firing off his shotgun into the darkness. It's just whatever's there.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, you saw the guy there in the flash of the first shot, so you know pretty much where he is, and you've got a bead on him. So he brings his pistol around, and he gets it like 3/4 of the way to where he'll be actually pointing it, aiming it in your direction, and your second shot goes off and just takes him in the upper body and knocks him back, and his pistol flies out of his hand as he sprawls down on the ground, choking on blood as he's coughing.
Walk up and pump another one into him. Short range, like right up against him.
Oh yeah, you finish him off. Sorry. And Sharps?
What is the... Are we like in an alley, or are we in the street?
No, you're just around the side of this. No, this is like kind of outside of town. So this is like the first gas station outside of town kind of situation, you know? So it's pretty much open off to your right. And these two are kind of crouched there in front of you. The one guy is reaching for something in his waistband. You realize the one that's holding the briefcase seems to be a woman from her stature. They're wearing zone suits as well. But just from her physical stature, you think it's a small woman. She is not reaching for any kind of weapon. She seems to be kind of trying to move around behind the guy.
Right. I guess I will dive behind a dumpster.
So you jump back the way you just came from?
Yeah.
Okay. You do so just as he pulls a 9mm, points you in your direction, lets off a couple of shots, missing you, hitting the side of the building and the dumpster.
Hearing that, Confucius runs around the corner, sees the two of them, and attempts to go completely Bruce Lee as best he can on them, having the Boudica. So he jumps up and he attempts to kick the woman who's actually holding the briefcase, because she's behind the man.
Okay. Yeah, you're coming up behind her now, so
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't even see you there. She's kind of cowering a little bit behind the guy. He's much bigger than her, and he's pointing this 9mm and releasing shots at the corner of the building. So yeah, you can just go ahead and describe to me how you want to take her out.
So I'm going to jump, and I'm actually going to strike her right in the chest. So she goes flat down.
Well, her
And
back is
in the attempt. Yeah. So I'll hit her in the back, and she will drop her briefcase onto the ground as she goes flying forward.
Okay, so it was like a knockout attack?
Correct.
Yeah, she's out. And the guy now is starting to turn and looks and sees you and starts to turn with his pistol.
So as the man begins to turn, Sharps is going to pull a combat knife out of their boots and rush him.
Cool. So as he turns to bring the pistol around to bear, what are you doing, Confucius?
I'm holding up my one hand like this, so that way he looks at it, and then I kick him with my left foot.
He's going like this and kicking out his left foot. He's trying to bring the pistol around, but he's like right up melee range with you, so it's going to be a little bit slow for him to try to get positioned properly to actually get a good shot. And at that point in time, Sharps is going to come around and stab him. Where'd you say, in the back of the skull?
We're going to start low, like in the back of the kneecap or something
Oh,
like that.
okay. Oh, okay. So you kick out at him. He gets stabbed in the back of the kneecap by Sharps. So he drops his gun now, in agony and screams in pain and reaches for his leg as he's going down.
I step over. Sharp steps over him and kicks the gun underneath the dumpster.
Yep, no problem. What is Sergey doing now? He's been inside with this dead guy. Pumped a couple rounds into him.
Does he hear the gunshots from outside?
You did hear the gunshots from outside, yeah, just around the same time as you were pumping your second round into the guy on the floor.
He's making his way around in the gas station towards where the gunshots are, but he's got the shotgun up and he's clearing, make sure there's nobody else in there.
Okay.
Making his way towards whatever side of the... I guess it's out back now of the gas
They're
station.
off to the right side if you're facing the front of the building.
So...
Yeah, you can make your way around. You can see the door that they went out through. It's through the kind of service station part where they do like oil changes and tire changes and stuff like that. And by the time you get out and come to the door, what does he find? What do you guys do with this guy you've immobilized, incapacitated?
He's facing me, correct?
On his back on the ground now, yes.
I stand over him, and I punch him dead in the nose as hard as I can, so hopefully some shards of his nose and cartilage go up into his brain.
Okay.
And I hit him with the palm of my hand, like
a death blow, yeah?
He's wearing his own suit, right?
Doesn't he have a helmet?
Oh, yeah, he was wearing his own suit. That's true, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, you crack, your hand just cracks and smashes the glass of his visor into his face, and he starts to convulse violently.
Is the suitcase out there on the ground?
It is, yeah.
Go grab it.
Okay. And you can
And
see...
then immediately spin around and head back to the gas station.
Before that, we should probably kill the woman who was holding that, because she's just knocked out.
As you wish.
Oh, sure, pump another shotgun blast into her. Then go to the gas station.
Okay. You can do that. This briefcase is extremely light, actually. It's almost as if it were empty. But you can see the one side of it is like a bulletproof glass, and you can see through it into it, and it looks like there's a swirling blue liquid-like gas inside of it. There's readings on the case as well that say, you know, quarantine 100%. You know, it reads off like pressures and things of that sort, temperature inside, etc. The temperature is extremely cold.
I say to Sharps, why don't you carry it?
Sharps nods. They take they're still carrying their the bag that they had the zone suit in, and they kind of like open that wide for Sergi to put the suitcase into.
Okay. Put it in the bag. Start going back to the gas station and call Katano. We have it. We're at the site. We're finished.
You have to get back to the border. I can't send a helicopter into the zone.
Back to where we were dropped off?
Well, any point in the border, just call me when you're approaching it. I can read your GPS coordinates.
So on the map, where's the nearest direction?
Let's see, the way you guys came in, you came in from the east and you worked your way kind of northeast, so probably just about northeast actually from here, which although unfortunately would bring you a lot closer to Institute territory, but that's the closest border point.
How long till
Well,
dark?
wouldn't be that much closer.
Duskfall.
Oh, right, sorry, Duskfall should be happening right now.
That's why I was heading back to the gas
I
station.
kind of forgot about that in all the excitement. So, Duskfall, yeah. Are you guys in cover?
Gas station.
That's Katano saying over the thing. Good, because Duskfall is happening now. And again, there's the ripple, and like a light switch, everything goes black. This time, the shimmering light, like aurora that ripples across the land, is kind of a bluish hue. And the stalkers outside, the dead stalkers, all flash freeze.
Go through the corpse of the the Japanese fellow that's on the floor, looking
Yeah,
for
the
any
one
kind of
inside the building.
identification or anything?
He doesn't have any kind of identification, but when you remove his mask and everything,
Yeah.
you recognize his face. He's a pretty well-known stalker from the Sapporo region.
All right, Sharp steps forward and takes a picture of the corpse, of his face.
His name was Gojira.
I'll take my knife and cut off one of his fingers, put that in my pocket.
Okay.
Sharps just kind of looks at you like aghast. What the hell, man?
Fingerprint, proof.
I see. They still take like a step away from you.
I look over at Sharp and say, "We have all the proof we need. The Surf is carrying the briefcase. Now let's go."
So, I'm against going closer to the Institute.
You want to retrace our steps?
We know that way. The only thing that's uncertain is who's going to be waiting there for us.
True.
Yeah, your Yakuza bodyguards did just kill some American-hired security forces at the Border Patrol.
So, how long did it take us to get here from when we were dropped off?
Well, you made decent time, actually, so about 4.5 hours.
And not the Institute, even though that's the closest fence. Where's another fence that is at least as close as where we were dropped off, if not closer?
Well, no, you're...
According to the map.
Yeah, I mean, the closest points are going to be going more towards Institute territory. Otherwise, you're going to have to go back the way you came. Or otherwise, you're going to have to trek across the zone for maybe a day or more.
No. Back the way we came, if we circled kind of zigzag circled in to, say, the north when we came here, zigzag circle back, but to the south, but back in the general direction we came from. Not retracing our steps.
Communicate that to Kitano, where you're going.
Is there a way for me to pinpoint that on the map?
Yeah,
like where we're headed to?
Yeah, you could give them an idea. You could give them coordinates.
Okay. Yeah, show that.
What's your ETA? He says. Maybe I can do something to distract any guards.
Hopefully no longer than it took us to get in here. 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
How long till daybreak?
Make it 5 hours then. Don't get there early.
We'll hole up if we're early.
The next daybreak is going to be in 3 hours.
Okay. All right, head out. But head out kind of... Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to make like a big circle. Like we came in here to the south, or wherever we were. We came in from the north, right?
No, you were moving northeast, so you kind of came in from the south.
Okay, so we made a circle from the south up to where we are, and now I want to complete the circle, getting back down to where we came in, but a distance away down the fence, closer to where we saw that gap in the fence, farther down.
Sure. Who was it had the sixth sense ability?
Is he dead?
Oh, Sharps had the sixth sense.
Sharps. Sharps, as you guys are leaving the gas station again, you think you get that animal-like smell.
Something's coming.
You feel kind of frightened. You know, like when you're in a dream and you're being chased.
Well, you don't have to outrun the predator. You just have to outrun your friends.
Yeah.
That's the first thought that comes through Sharp's mind. We have to go. Something's coming.
Okay. Who's got the bag with the case? Is that Sharp's?
Yeah, Sharp's.
It's Sharps, yeah.
Okay.
So who's leading the way?
I'll lead.
Okay.
Sharps will very persistently take up the middle.
I'll take up the rear.
Moving carefully but quickly as seems wise, tossing bolts out in front, keeping an eye out.
You guys are moving along for a couple of hours because you still have to take take care. You're still in the zone. You don't want to just run face first into any anomalies.
No.
You're back in a residential neighborhood of that abandoned city, not too far from where you know your two Japanese friends' bodies lie. But you go a different street this time to avoid the creepy hot dog stand.
Do we still see it?
No. Well, I mean, unless you want to go back near it again.
And do we see anything of that temporal anomaly that we spotted before?
You
Like
don't.
the street party?
You don't, but at one point you're standing kind of in the middle of the road, again trying to keep clearance on both sides of you. And Sharps, you feel it. You feel like eyes are on you. And
Right. I'm looking around.
while you're next to Sarais.
I'm looking around all directions, scanning the environment with my sharp eyes. I want to see this thing before it comes for us, before it strikes. I kind of like reach out with my left hand and start like kind of pushing Sergi to go faster.
You see Sharps on the roof of a building about, say, 80 feet away from you. This. And who was it that had knowledge in organisms?
Sergey.
Sergey. You've seen lots of different types of mutants and strange things. You've never seen anything like this. This looks alien. There's no creature you can think of that would mutate to look like that.
It's coming for us. Run.
What's around us that we could take cover in?
Lots of houses.
Head for the nearest doorway. Get inside something.
Okay.
How long till daybreak?
Equidistant, left or right, about an hour daybreak.
Away from the thing, so...
Yeah, okay, it's on the left, so you go to the right.
Yeah.
What about Confucius?
Confucius, he doesn't see it yet. He just sees them running, and he's like, what the fuck is going on? And he just runs right after them.
As Sharps is running, they're going to take their second to last smoke grenade, pop the pin, and drop it on the ground.
Okay.
Who knows if that'll do anything, but might as well try.
The creature leaps halfway across the street from the roof and lands on the ground, cracking the asphalt beneath of it. And with its weird, long four limbs, it starts to run in a really alien-like fashion directly towards you. Sharps, who's in the rear? Who's the slowest?
That's me.
Confucius.
Confucius.
Yeah. It's coming at you, Confucius. It's gaining on you rapidly.
In my mind, all I'm thinking is $1 million, $1 million, $1 million, and trying to put as many feet as I can between that thing and me. I start dropping my pack to try to light myself up a little bit, knowing that it's really not going to work. There's little cans of food that are dropping out. My water falls down, and it breaks, and water falls out everywhere. And I'm still hoping to go, knowing that it's really not going to make any difference at all.
Okay.
Wishing I didn't smoke for 30 years.
And you're still at the front, Sergey?
Yes, but now I've turned around because I can hear him huffing back there. I'm going to try to take a shot at... He's in between me and the creature, though, right?
Yeah, but the creature's bigger than him.
I'm going to take a shot at the creature with my regular pistol, the one I shot at Vigilant with.
Yeah, okay.
How thick is the smoke?
And Sharps? What's Sharps doing?
How thick is the smoke?
Oh, the smoke, it's pretty thick, but the creature is already passed most of the way through it.
Alright, I keep running. I'm booking it into the building.
Sharp passes Sergey as Sergey turns and takes some shots with his pistol. Your shots hit it and give it only a moment's pause as it leaps forward and grabs Confucius with one of its long appendages around the ankle and picks him up and holds him upside down, dangling in front of it.
Run forward with the shotgun and try to press it against the thing and let loose.
Okay. Confucius, what are you doing?
I'm coughing like a son of a bitch because I haven't run that fast in a really long time, and there's bits of mucus and phlegm coming up just from too many years of smoking, and just wishing that I could trade places with Sharps, because he should be here, not me.
Sharps, you get to the house. What do you do?
Is this the same house where our Japanese friends met their fate?
No. You went down a different street, so it's
okay. I'm honestly at this point that primal fear is kind of built up a bit to the point where Sharps isn't really paying attention to any anomalies that may or may not be in the area. They're just looking at it. They're a sprinter. They have that on their body sheet.
Yep.
And so they're booking it through the house. They're busting out the back door.
So yeah.
And
okay.
They're just relying on their innate sixth sense not to run into something horrible.
Okay.
Just trying to put as much distance between themselves and whatever the hell that thing is.
Sergey, you go up and press the shotgun right up against the creature and pull the trigger, yeah?
Yeah, because if Confucius dies, that's one step closer to being alone in here, and I don't want to be alone.
You blast it, and blood sprays a bit out of it. It definitely wounds it a little bit as it kind of staggers back a bit and looks at you with kind of like a wounded puppy dog look on its face for a moment. It's really kind of bizarre, this big alien monster with this expression. And then its mouth opens in its 4 different directions, and it swings Confucius like a club and smacks you with him and knocks you sprawling to the ground, the shotgun flying from your hands. And both you and Confucius are pretty dazed from the blow. What would you like to do next?
Scrambling for the shotgun.
Okay, you start scrambling along the ground. You're seeing double, and your ears are ringing. But you scramble over and you grab onto the shotgun. Confucius?
The thing is still holding onto my leg, right?
Yeah, you're still kind of dangling just like a few... No, you can reach down and touch the ground now, but it's not holding you up.
I'm going to try to kick with my other leg with the hand that's holding it, knowing it's really not going to do much of any good.
Right, so you start kicking at the arm, trying to get it off you. It doesn't work. It's just too strong and resilient. And it picks you up again and lowers you down into its maw, which closes around your head and your right arm and rips that corner of your body off and kind of chews.
Running for the house.
Chews a little bit, smacking, swallowing large chunks. And it sees you running towards the house, and it hurls the lower 2/3 of his body at you.
And I'm not that fast.
No? Okay. So it hits you and knocks you to the ground, tangling up in your legs.
Smack.
His 2 of his legs and 1 of his arms that still remain on the half of a torso. Kind of like a self-made bola, a human bola.
And I am effectively alone.
You are effectively alone, that's true. And you've crashed on the ground again, and again the shotgun skitters away from your hand as the wind's knocked out of you. And the thing
I'm just
starts
trying to get up and run for the house.
kind of crawl towards you. You get up and start to run towards the house, and the creature will leap on you and pin you to the ground and start drooling like an acidic type saliva almost on you. It doesn't like, it's not like, like aliens acid or anything quite like that. It just burns a bit, and it's really kind of caustic feeling.
Pull my knife and just madly start stabbing at the thing.
Okay, yeah. You're like stabbing it in its foot as it's kind of holding part of your arm down.
I have no idea where to stab it.
And it just starts to munch on you. Goes right for your face. And it will finish you off. But you've delayed it enough that by this point in time...
And Sharps has a briefcase.
Sharps with the briefcase is probably a couple of blocks away.
Yeah, I'm just hoofing it. Panic pretty much just building up at this point.
Kitana's like, what the hell is going on? Your vitals are all over the place. What happened? We just lost control.
Evacuation!
Yes,
We
Sergey.
need evac! I need evac right now!
What are you doing? You mad you don't run through a zone?
I'm not listening at this point. I just keep running.
Oh, god damn Gaijin bastards. Alright, helicopter's on its way. I told you not to be early.
I'm literally only relying on my sixth sense at this point. Like, if that fails, I'm going to run, like, head first into something terrible. But in this clouded delirium, sharps feels that running into an anomaly might be preferable to running into that thing.
Do you have a zone point that you
Yes.
can spend?
I'll gladly spend that.
Okay. Somehow, your sixth sense just does just enough for you to avoid running into any more of those anti-grav phenomena or crossing a temporal shift in the wrong place. Somehow, miraculously, you make it most of the way to the border when you can hear the engine of a helicopter flies in rapidly over the fence of the zone in a daredevil maneuver, which normally they wouldn't do such a thing because it's too dangerous, but they want this item that you have. It lowers down, and a rope is thrown down, and a man kind of scurries down it and grabs hold of you. He says, "Give me the briefcase."
Right, I give it to him.
He takes and ties off part of the rope to it. And he tugs on the rope, and they start to raise it back up, and he kicks you in the face and drops you off the rope.
Damn it! I knew it! Oh, god damn it! I fall to the ground with a broken nose.
You can hear sirens as the border patrol are rapidly approaching. The helicopter starts to tear off across a corner of the zone and starts to gain altitude as it goes over the southwest corner of the zone and lifting off towards Sapporo. As you see 3 more armored personnel carriers coming in, lights, big, huge search strobe lights, all pointing right at you on the ground. Some of them searching for the black helicopters that's flying off, but not able to find it.
I stand up with my brightly colored suit and put my hands up.
And the do not move, you are under arrest.
Get me out of here!
And that's where we're going to end Zone Japan.
Excellent, that was fun, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Maybe you lived.
Very well done. Thank you.
He'll live. He'll probably spend the next couple of years in prison. But
yeah, actually, isn't Stalker, the offense for being a stalker, isn't it pretty low? It's just a couple of years in prison.
Yeah, just a couple of years in prison.
And I don't have any weapons or artifacts on me other than a knife, so.
Will they shoot at you to discourage you from going into it?
Well, a lot of times if they see you going into the zone and it's at nighttime, it's too dangerous for them to pursue you. They'll just shoot you, and then they'll recover the body when the sun comes up.
So.
Yeah. Because it's what it is. It's too dangerous to the Institute and to the governments of the world to allow stalkers to get in and find bits of alien technology, and then who knows who they're selling it to. They could be
so it does carry a death sentence that way.
They could be selling it to rival corporations. They could be selling it to freaking terrorist organizations. You never know. So, yeah. So
they might give you a harsh time.
Let's do a quick little just outro. If anybody wants to say anything on the way out, I'll just ask you one at a time. If you have anything to say in closing, Micah.
This was really fun. This was a lot of fun. I'd love to do another Stalker game with you guys at some point if you ever do it again online. Yeah, with a different character who has actually some combat skills. Sharks they were not a fighter.
This is the most combat-heavy Stalker game I think I've ever run. So, Philip, if you're there.
Hi. My name's Philip, and I run the channel Maps and Dragons. I had an amazing time tonight playing the game of Stalker. I just want everyone to know SR2 Joker and I, Andrew Knapp, are good friends, and not to think that it was anything personal. Just vying for leadership of the group. You guys were all great, and I really enjoyed the RP. Thanks, guys. Also, if you guys did donate to Child's Play during the game, I will, of course, match every dollar up to $1. Good game, guys. Appreciate it.
Excellent. And Jeff? I think Jeff froze up on us. Okay. Ernesto?
Oh, it was very fun. I enjoyed it. It's very different than what I normally play, so it was a bit of an experiment. I'm not used to. I guess this is diceless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was
I'm
interesting to see
honestly
how it
still a
worked.
little like weirded out by like the diceless thing, but it is definitely fun. It just takes some getting used to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And Jeff is back with us again. He's not frozen anymore. Jeff?
Yes, this was a great session. Had a lot of fun. Loved the fact that, two of us died almost an hour into it. Absolutely amazing. Great characters. Had a great time with you all. Thank you for letting me play with you.
Thanks for
You
playing.
too, Jeff. You were great.
And Andrew?
Oh yeah, man, it was a really great game. Me and Phil had foil characters. Like I ended up making the super aggressive, super arrogant like cop that wanted to try to pick somebody out and pry on their weakness. And he was a samurai bound by the code of honor, so it was like the unstoppable force versus the movable object, and it blew up when we were in that nice little house setting. So it was like a samurai stalker soap opera.
I've seen these kind of things happen before between characters in various games and game systems, not just with Andrew and Philip, but with all kinds of different people. And it's just fortunate that in this case you didn't take anybody with you anyway.
Vigilant was a dick. He's starting all kinds of problems. He needed to go.
What was really funny about it, though, is if you look at it, I was actually the one trying not to PvP. I was trying to salvage it.
It seemed like you were baiting him all the time.
I appreciated your lame attempt at defeating me, though. It was cute. Winky face.
Well, for my own,
We definitely got to play more games, guys.
We will play more Stalker for sure. Thanks to anybody who watched this or anybody who will watch this. Thanks to everyone who's taken part in Brigade Con, running games, playing in games. Everybody who's donated to Child's Play. I know I made a pretty hefty donation myself. You can still, too, I think the shirts are available for purchase up until the 27th of October, I believe. And I presume that the proceeds continue to go to Child's Play on those. And if anybody wants to get any last-minute donations in on the BrigadeCon website as well, too, you can go to brigadecon.org, and there's a green button, I think, on there where you can just click to donate directly to Child's Play. So it's a good cause. It's good meeting you guys. Hey, I had 5 people signed up for my game, and all 5 showed up, so I feel like that's a pretty good result. So I had a great time, and in the meantime, good night.
Thank you very much.
Ceremonies in about an hour.
Good night, everyone.